Hello from Anfield, where Liverpool have kept up a winning start to Europa League campaign by beating Union SG 2-0. Goals from Ryan Gravenberch in the first half and also Diogo Jota right at the death give them the win. They did make hard work of it at times, you've got to say, but as far as Jurgen Klopp's concerned, I'm sure this is really just a night to forget about, really, in terms of the performance, and just one where you take the result and walk away. Obviously, Liverpool just knew that with them making 9 changes for this game, that this was not really going to be them at the fluent best, but in the end they played some decent football and also got the 3 points on the board, which is what it's all about, and also some important minutes in the legs of the players who needed it, and also not too much exertion in terms of ahead of that game that they've got at the weekend, which is against Brighton. It's worth noting also that Brighton played away in Marseille and got a point, had to play right to the end to get a 2-2 draw there. So will that help Liverpool going into the weekend? Jurgen Klopp will certainly hope so. And Roberto De Zerbi will be worried maybe about his players' condition, having been away from home and having to work so hard in that game, obviously throwing on some subs that he maybe didn't want to in that game, so maybe that will work in Liverpool's favour. I just want to say, I usually film these sort of facing the Kop when I do these post-match videos, but you can see behind me I just filmed from this angle just because I want you to see how that stand's coming on. As you can see the top tier there, there's a few more seats going in now, so they're making decent progress with that. Hopefully we'll see some fans in there soon, and also you can see the Union fans behind me as well. They're in decent voice as well, so just nice to see them. There's a little bit of a different backdrop. Now I'll go into going through the players as per usual and talk about how they performed. To start as ever with the goalkeeper, Alisson. I thought for a lot of this game, really, he was called in at last minute, so you've got to say, in terms of mentality, that's maybe a tough one for a goalkeeper. We would have maybe thought that Quansah Kelleher was coming in for this one, but he got an injury that kept him out of contention. Therefore, Alisson coming in to start, and I thought he didn't show any signs of sort of that hurting him mentally or finding that difficult at all. I thought he came in and looked really composed. There was one moment where it was a little spill from a delivery coming from wide, and he goes to punch it, doesn't quite catch it, and that's quite unusual for him, but otherwise thought really, really solid. A couple of really good saves from him, as you'd come to expect, and Union didn't really massively threaten Liverpool, but there was there were a couple of moments where he needed to be strong and needed to show that he's a good shot stopper as much as anything else, and I thought he came to do that. He always does that in games that Liverpool dominate. He's always switched on, always ready when he's called on. Into the defence, Trent Alexander-Arnold getting some important minutes under his belt in this one. Obviously he's been out through injury, so only just working his way back, so important that he got just over the hour that he got here. His involvement leads to the opening goal. He drives at the pitch, coming in from sort of the left hand side from a Liverpool defending a corner, drives at the pitch, gets a shot away, and that spills to Gravenberch, so he's involved in that way. And his last contribution actually before he goes off the pitch is something he doesn't really get a lot of praise for in terms of his defending. He stops a counter right around the halfway line, where if he doesn't cut across and cut the ball out there, then Union are in. So really important contributions from him, and as I say, really good minutes to get under his belt. Konaté, interesting that he's in the Europa League team at the moment. I think he's obviously struggling to dislodge Joel Matip from that starting 11 in the Premier League, but I think he couldn't really be doing much more in terms of making the case to the manager that he should be playing. I thought again here was incredible, really. His defensive work, he never gets bullied, his pacing behind stops counters, and he showed all that today. And also some of his passing in behind. There's a couple of moments where he chips a pass in behind, it leads to a big Liverpool chance. He really has got that in his locker. He's not just a player who's defensively solid, he can work on the other side of the ball as well. I thought really impressive all-round performance from him. The reason I maybe wouldn't say he was man of the match was possibly because of the guy beside him, who, although that's maybe unfair on Konaté because we just come to expect him, Jarell Quansah, the way he's coming through this season has been a really, really pleasant surprise for Liverpool. I thought he was absolutely sensational in this game again. Big opportunities come up for him this season because Liverpool have that shortage at centre half. I think it was an area people wanted to strengthen, but Quansah has really, really come to the fore in this season. I thought another brilliant performance from him today. He's really front-footed in some of his defending. One situation in particular I remember where he gets in front of the defender, it ricochets forward and actually sets up Salah for an opportunity that gets missed, but I thought that really summed up his performance. And also he clears one off the line. There's a moment as well at the end of the game where he's in a battle with the Union centre forward Rodriguez, and it's a physical battle, and he's a young player. You would accept that sometimes he's going to get beaten in those, but he doesn't. He's there, he's physical, he shrugs him off and wins the challenge. I thought 4 interceptions, 2 clearances as well, so statistically showing up really well his performance. So another really, really promising performance from him, and really exciting to see another academy prospect coming in and taking up minutes. Let's hope he can keep this solid run up in the Europa League, because I think this will be a really good opportunity for him if he can stay in this team, and I hope he does. At left back, Simon Tsimikas, I thought he was, he gets stick sometimes, but I thought he was involved, he's creative, his pass accuracy of 94.8%, so he's not giving it away, but he's also creating opportunities. 2 key passes here. He also made 4 tackles, so he may not be Andy Robertson, and people will hold that against him from time to time, but I thought a decent and solid performance from him coming in as the backup left back today. Into midfield, Endo starts the game in the holding midfield role. I thought he was really tidy, some really neat passes, and also some little ones that he stuns through, and it sort of gets Liverpool on the front foot, finding people in the number 10 spot. I thought he looked really bright in terms of doing that today. Tidy performance. As I say, the surprise was that he came off at half time as part of the 3 changes that Liverpool made at the break, so maybe that's one to look at, is coming into the Brighton game at the weekend. Does with Curtis Jones being suspended, is that an opportunity to move Alexis McAllister up on that left hand side and then use Endo in the holding role? Interesting. I think that sub maybe suggests that is what's going to happen. We'll have to see how that works out. Elsewhere in midfield, Harvey Elliott, I thought one of his more quiet performances. He can do more than he showed today, and I think we've been seeing that more in his substitute appearances today. So he was quiet in some aspects of his game, but he plays some brilliant passes in behind. There's one that sets up Nunez for a chance where he plays the pre-assist into Salah. I thought it was, really shows that he's got that quality. And he drove forward quite nicely as well, which is something I feel like he's added to his game this season. Whereas usually would look to move the ball forward rather than him moving forward with it. He's trying to add that to his game. But we know he can play better. But so maybe not a perfect night for him. But I thought not a bad performance by any means. Elsewhere in midfield, obviously Ryan Gravenberch. Going to talk about him. I thought he scores his goal, which well taken. It's an easy opportunity, but easy to miss those, I suppose, from time to time. But I thought his performance in general was so encouraging. He's now got 3 goal contributions actually in his last 3 starts, which 3 goal contributions is more than Jordan Henderson contributed in the entirety of last season. So that shows you that there's been a real step up there in what Liverpool are getting from the midfield. Really encouraging on that front. He's also the first player for Liverpool to get 3 goal contributions in his first 3 starts for the club since Milan Baros. He ends the game with 3 shots on target, countless drive forward, little nutmegs as well, little skills where he's beating his man. I think it's just an incredibly promising performance. I'm so excited to see what we see from him going forward, because I think he looks like a really shrewd signing already. Moving into the forward line now, Mohamed Salah, lively as ever. He gets a chance in the first half. It'd be really disappointed he didn't take, but I think it's a good save from the goalkeeper. He only plays 45 minutes here, but he gets 2 key passes, 2 shots on target. We know how good he is. I think in playing today for 45 minutes was just to keep him in shape and keep him sharp. So a good 45 minutes for him. Nunez, I think, again, I think this is about sharpness with him, getting him in. He couldn't play against Tottenham because he had that little knock, and I expect him to start against Brighton, but he'd be really, really disappointed with the chance he misses at the Anfield Road end. It's a simple pass across from Salah, and he's basically tapping it into an empty net, and he misses it. I think, if there's going to be a debate around him or Gakpo, he doesn't do him any favours when he misses chances like that. I think it won't hurt him in the short term because Gakpo's got that injury. As I say, I expect Nunez to start against Brighton, but he doesn't need to be missing chances like that when he's got so much competition for starting spot in this squad at the moment. So Nunez he'll be disappointed with that miss. Jota is the other player who's obviously started on the left hand side. He's got that suspension against Brighton, so he won't play there. So it made sense that he came in for a start here. I thought general play, to be honest, not his best game. I thought he was really clumsy in build up and messy moments, but we're used to that from him. But then you get him around the goal and he comes to life. There's the heady chance he gets at the top end that he draws a really good save. He's so good in the air for such a little player, and then obviously at the end he gets 2 on the counter and finishes on his left foot, so deadly off either foot. So he's maybe not the best out of Liverpool's forwards in terms of his contribution to build up, but he is deadly when he's in the box. And I think so sometimes when he's out on that left wing rather than the centre forward position, you see some of the weaknesses a little bit more. But again, he comes away with a goal and Liverpool win. So again, they've made 9 changes as well, so you can't complain about that one too much. You just go through the substitutes quickly. I thought Curtis Jones comes on. He has a quiet second half. I think that's true of a lot of players, to be honest. I thought Liverpool sort of knew that they didn't really have to stretch themselves to win this game. So he was tidy in there, just keeps the ball, doesn't he, and did well in terms of that. Has a decent shot that goes just wide late on as well. McAllister came in again, another tidy, not a performance to write home about, but he was tidy. He actually almost lets Union in with a sloppy back pass at the end, but you won't hold it against him when Liverpool come away with the win. Diaz has a chance that he hits the post with from a ball over the top. Very unlucky with that one, but again, it's just, I think, 45 minutes to keep him sharp. Gomez, again, he only comes on for 45 minutes, but I thought he looked really solid. He looks like a player in form to me, and I think that is exactly what he is. If he misses out against Brighton because Trent Alexander-Arnold comes in, I think he can count himself very unlucky, because he's done very well when he's come into the team, right back or centre back. I think he's doing really well. And Szoboszlai was the other substitute where I thought, he didn't have much time to impact things. He didn't come on at half time. He came on a little later in the game, but he does crack away a long shot which just misses the target. It just reminds you how much of a threat he can be from distance and what a player he is. Looking forward to seeing him again back into the starting 11 at Brighton. Now that pretty much sums up my summary of the team's performance today. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought, who you thought was man of the match here, who you thought played well in this Europa League game. As ever, I'm going to ask you, please do like and subscribe, and as ever, I'll be back after the Brighton game to sum that up. Let's hope Liverpool can get back to winning ways in the Premier League there.